Yes, thank you very much for having me here today with you. I was asked by Shinji to share with you what was the journey I underwent to create the Czech Wellness Institute. I was very much inspired by hearing the long history of your Japanese Wellness Society when I met the Japanese group in the United States several years ago. And by then we had no wellness organization in our country. And by then I had no dream whatsoever to create one. I was only searching for a topic for my master thesis. I was a master student. So in this presentation, I might also want to inspire you to very much open to also your students at your universities when they come to you with very crazy topics about for their final thesis. Maybe you never know, maybe they will start an institute at your university, which happened to me. So I guess Shinji introduced me a bit. Here is a bit of what I do. I am located, and our Czech Wellness Institute is located at the Masaryk University in Brno in the Czech Republic. And I also do wellness and other educational programs all across Europe, because we have a very nice Erasmus program that allows us to travel and connect the various countries, which is one of the topics we have to deal with in European Union, being all those different nationalities and all those different people living together in one space. And I find this to be really like a wellness initiative, because yeah, also in home, we also have many different people living together. And there are many other things I do, but all in all, I am like passionate about wellness since 2010. 2010 was the year when I looked for the first time into the theory, when I was searching for the topic, as I said. And what I will be talking about today will be my personal and academic journey since then. So the aims of the talk, as I said, is to look or to share with you where I have gone through, and also to look at the differences between the Czech and European approach to wellness and the American approach to wellness, as the theory is grounded in the American culture. Also, maybe I want to inspire you to go yourself abroad and bring back home interesting ideas and concepts, because that's how we can grow as a culture. And for my person, it was really much a reflection what it really took to create an organization. It is not only 3 people who sign some paper and ta-da, we have an institute. It took much more effort and a lot of studies, and we will see where it takes us in the future years. So coming back to the beginning, or to the place where I am sitting right now, I am sitting in the place where the one star is. I'm sitting in the city of Brno at something that could be called the very heart of Europe, at the very center of it. We have Germany, Poland, Austria as our neighbors. And we can travel to the furthest places in Europe within maximum 2 days of driving. So that's the size of our, I'd call it, continent. And Czech Republic is yeah, culturally we are rooted in the Germanic, Slavic tribes that were living here. Then came the very beautiful and rich and sometimes dark medieval times, when we believed only in one god and one king, and there were many wars. So for many years, the Czech culture has been influenced by the German neighbors, and then came our Russian neighbors for 50 and even more years in the last century. But for the last 30 years, since I was born, we are an independent country, developing, I don't want to say for the first time, but for the second time, our own Czech nationality, our own traditions have been here. So we are trying to build up on that, becoming, yeah, something that we always wanted to be, living the lives the way we wanted in the Czech way. So that is what we have here. So I was born in the time when we had Coca-Cola and McDonald's already. And also in the time where there has already been a long spa traditions. The nature here gives us a lot of hot springs. I know you have these also in Japan. So around the borders of Czech Republic, there are many spa facilities. So what happens mostly if you come to Czech Republic searching for wellness, you will enter a place like this, a wellness hotel, a wellness center, a wellness place where you go and you expect your body to be taken care of and you to feel great and awesome. For long years, I have been fighting this in my eyes, like limited view of wellness. But in some moments when I look in the faces of the people, when they are enjoying some spa treatment, I'm trying to tell them, yes, remember this, remember what you have inside your body and in your mind when you are in the wellness center, and then try to keep it inside of you and take it home, take it to your work, take it to your school, take it to your friends. Because that's the wellness we are trying to support in you, the inner state of being and having good opportunities in life and all the other topics. And sometimes I feel like the people don't know what I'm talking about. When I say that I do wellness, people really think that I did my PhD research in sauna or in a whirlpool. And I was sitting by the computer, right? Doing all the coding and all the scientific things we do. So in Czech Republic, wellness is pretty much about spa and feeling good and pampering. So when I was beginning my master's studies, I said like, yeah, let's go abroad and experience something new. So my very first contact with the actual theory of wellness was here at this interesting school in Denmark. It's Gerlev Idrettshøjskole. It's a private school focused on sports, but they have, or they had this very smiley headmaster, Finn Berggren, who is very passionate about promoting the Danish very healthy and joyful way of living. And Finn himself was for many years a professor at a university focusing on workplace well-being and wellness. And many years later, when we were talking after I met him, he shared to me that he was a couple of years in the States at the National Wellness Conference in the Stevens Point. So you can see that everywhere around the world, there can be people who carry within them an idea. For Finn, it was a book that he lended me one day. And the book was the wellness workbook from Jack Travis. And I was so surprised. I didn't expect wellness to be so much more than spa. And I started writing, I started researching. So I came back home and I was writing my master thesis. So when going to sauna with my friends, I was discussing the wellness ideas and I was going into anything I could find online. I know that my academic advisors were not very happy that 99% of my resources for my thesis were from the internet. But there was no single book about wellness written in Czech, or there were 2-3 books, not to be so critical, but they were about the Czech approach to it. But I was interested, what is it that I read in the Jack Travis's book? So Google was a good friend, and I was in the practical part of the research. I was asking my students, my fellow students at the university, what wellness means for them. And you can see in the word cloud, that wellness pretty much is about relaxation and lifestyle. So some students already had their minds open to the wellness outside of the wellness centers, but there was no understanding to the concept itself. So my thesis was trying to bring in the history of the pure concept of wellness. And in the middle of the writing, I've learned on the internet there is something like the National Wellness Institute, and I wrote them an email and I said, yeah, I'm this student writing thesis about wellness, and I come over. So in 2013, I ended up in Stevens Point, visiting the conference and really opening my mind. And that was one big thing for me personally, because in my country, conferences are pretty much reserved for the academic staff, for the senior academic staff. And we don't let often our students come in. As I was still the master student, being invited to the conference, I've seen completely different approach to sharing information, to really being so passionate about the topic, not only sharing the graphs and the theories, but living the wellness in the campus, in all the sessions, in all the group meetings. It was really something I have never experienced before. And if I could invite you to open your conferences to your students, don't hesitate. Most of them might not want to come, that's true. But those who will be highly impressed by the work you do and by all the knowledge that you have. So I went to the States for summer 2013, ended up also as an intern in a hospital to see what the workplace wellness in the States looks like. We had nothing like that in the Czech Republic by then. And then I kept coming back to the wellness conference because I have met some interesting people there, right? I have met the Japanese group, and I have also met all the other international presenters from the conference. And I have to admit that the social and personal connections were what kept me coming back to the States. And it is quite a deal to fly to a conference and back from the Czech Republic, but it was completely worth it. In the conference in Minneapolis, in the bottom right corner, I have met Jack Travis, the founder of Wellness, the author of the first book of wellness I have read. And it was something that I couldn't read from the books, meeting the people who write about wellness in person, seeing how they live it, that wellness is not only a theory, but it is a way how we talk, how we interact with each other, how many crazy pictures we are willing to take with strangers. That was very inspiring, and it was keeping me up with the journey I decided to take. I started my PhD, and I promised my academic advisors that I will do a research about wellness, and they still thought I am doing something in spa and in sauna. So going to the conference for inspiration and then coming back home was my yearly ritual to keep myself up with the works. At home, I was developing an experiential training course about wellness that I was teaching at the university. And I was trying to gather the data through which I could measure wellness, because the science wanted me to measure it. And that was very difficult for me, because yeah, how do I measure lifestyle? How do I measure if the people are living good or not? So really being at the bottom of what wellness is and preparing a 12 weeks long experiential program about all the 12 dimensions from the Jack Travis's model. That's what I have spent my 2 years of life developing, and somehow something was still missing. I didn't feel the data were strong enough for the defense. So I took a break. I said I have to go abroad to really focus on the writing, to focus on the theory, and I ended up in Turkey. If you ever want to go on a lovely place where you will be very nicely treated, try Turkey. They are very, very good in their services, and they have a tradition of hammam, which is among the top wellness practices I have met. My advisor there was a practitioner and a teacher of hammam practices, but also a wellness person. He knew the model, and we had long discussions about the American approach to wellness and what Rumi, for example, says about good life, and how we are talking about the same. And the hammam practice is very much looking at also the physical body, but also the clarity of the mind. To hammam, people in Arabic countries used to go in a group. So it was a social practice, how to be together, how to rest together, how to nurture the community. And it also makes one clear and pure to welcome the spirit and to welcome the God inside through a prayer. So the practice itself had all the social, physical, spiritual, and mental dimension included in it. So I have met yet another cultural different approach to what well-being and wellness can look like, even if we don't call it wellness. And it gave me a lot of time to actually write and exchange emails with the United States. So I continued my travels and ended up in Stevens Point, where I had the great chance to take the learning program, the 12 weeks program that I was teaching in my home university, and to teach it to students in the States. So I have spent one semester both interning at the National Wellness Institute with the funny staff of theirs, and then teaching at the university and living, which you can see on the right bottom corner picture. This is the kitchen of John Manson in the Manson's Hotel. John Manson was the co-president of the National Wellness Institute. So we could be talking about wellness all day long. This is one of the addictive things about wellness that happened to me. Sometimes I can talk about it for like 15 hours in a row. So I am very much aware I have 5 minutes left to talk. But yes, doing and researching and teaching in the birthplace of the National Wellness Institute to learn about the American way of wellness was like, wow, it was my head exploding. I could read their books in their library, and that was something I would never be able to do from online world. Really, if you have any international students, just push them to your libraries because in libraries, the books are precious gold. Some of them are really old and not available. I remember holding in my hands the High Level Wellness from Halbert Dunn, the very first book about wellness that I can no longer book on Amazon. And it was like, yes, really reading the precious old documents. And after that, I went home. I had the data collected from my students and I had all the resources for my theoretical research, and I thought I was done with the research. And it took me only 2 more years to write the dissertation, to pull all that I was perceiving daily when I was teaching with the students, but writing it down in the text was so complicated for me, because I could see the conclusion of my thesis, and something I can share with you is that I knew that I was teaching the same subject, the same approach to wellness to 2 very different groups in 2 different continents. But in the very essence, the groups were very similar. It was students of the same age, in the same phase of life. And although I was living in 2 different cultural realities, they were all talking about wellness in the same way. I was asking them in the qualitative part of my research what a healthy person looks like. And they were giving me the same, or 90% same answers. There were slight differences, like, for example, for the American students, it was more important the physical look of the body. Yet for the Czech students, they were more concerned about the mental well-being of a person. So this was a minimal change I have seen, but I felt that in the essence of wellness, we really got to the same needs of young people, that they want to find a way how to live good, healthy, and to find a happy way through their lives. And I wasn't able to describe in scientific words available to my education and my background, the cultural differences. So what I have seen, that we are so different, through wellness, it felt like we are the same. So it took me 5 years to really trying to find the answer, if the American wellness fits in the Czech culture. So finally it was done. I finished the dissertation, and this is a picture of my family celebrating that I was done. You can see the ecstatic joy in their faces. Maybe the ecstatic joy is only on my face and my partner's face, because these were long years when they had no clue what I was doing. And my dissertation was written in English, so they couldn't read it. So they were like, aha, Jana is with the computer. She calls it wellness, leave her there. And yeah, so maybe this is a way to say thank you to all my family members that they supported this crazy journey. And the question ahead of me was, what next? What do I do with this knowledge? Because I didn't feel like this approach to wellness is only limited to individual wellness coaching practice. So at the university where I was doing the research, we agreed to create a Czech Wellness Institute that is meant to join all the practitioners that I know that are already practicing in our country, but and that they do practice some part of the wellness reality through different services, different professions, but that they all have the shared vision of helping or aiding individuals to feel well and flourish. So this is the homework of the Institute, to collect the people who don't yet know they are doing wellness, to give them the holistic theory in the background. They can support themselves, because very, very often people practice wellness from their intuition. Like, I feel this is good, that's why I do what I do. That's why I do massage. That's why I do coaching. That's why I do therapy. But they lack the theoretical background. So this is the aim of the Institute. It's located at the university, and it wants to bridge the academic knowledge that we have collected in the years with the practitioners in the real daily life, and to create the open channel for communication. So that's the future. And what is next for us? We had a lot of plans, and I believe many other organizations had. This was our very first event, a non-formal gathering for students, practitioners, teachers, and it was awesome. And it was in winter 2019. We wanted to organize more, and then the COVID came, and our lives turned upside down. My personal life turned upside down. So it would be lovely to meet with people again. So the main challenge I see now for the Institute, and I believe for other institutions as well, are both aiming at the, how to say, groups in crisis, I would call it maybe, the adults who are now maybe struggling with the unpredictable happenings in our daily lives. We don't know what will be happening, if we have kids at home tomorrow or not, and those changes. So at least here in the Czech Republic, the main goal I see for the practitioners is to start talking more about mental health and mental well-being, trying to remove the stigma of feeling unwell, being overwhelmed, feeling heavy. It's a normal part of the changes that we are all going through as a society, as humanity, as the world now. And it's maybe the option for the wellness practitioners to be there to help. Do you need a talk? Do you need a hug? Do you need something else to offer help? And then another group that also needs a lot of wellness care are the kids at schools. Strong topic also in the academic and scientific world I see at my university and also in the European programs offering funding is the school well-being of teachers, well-being of students, well-being in the climate of school. So this is one of the projects we are supporting as the Czech Wellness Institute, supporting teachers to feel well themselves so they can be good example for their students. That's somehow a new topic, and I see a lot of approach, and European Union is now also funding research in this area. So I really see that there is a future for wellness in this area. And what is next for me personally, I plan to sleep a lot because I haven't slept a lot in the past year. On the picture is me and my 1-year-old Adam. So personally, I am now going through the challenges of living the life of a parent with a very small child, trying to find a way how to live and work and take care of the persons I love so much. So all this is my personal wellness journey for the next, I don't know, 20, 30 years. You tell me, you have kids, and this is my first one. So this is where I went through. I hope it was maybe something inspiring, that you found some interesting bits and pieces of information, and I'm very happy to answer if you have any questions.
Thank you, Anna.